everybody. This is my first time on the Pallet, so I have a hard act now to follow. First is a short one, all about, God, I'm definitely, this is very shaky, getting old. Yeah, finally. Okay, it's called The Older I Get. The older I get, the crunchier my face, the achier my back, the slower my pace. Yesterday's a blur, last week no better, yet 20 years ago I can remember. Grey hairs multiply, grey cells decrease, everything's falling apart at the knees. Boobs swing south, waist spreading west, there's times I've taken to wearing a vest. The chats about pension and free travel, me nerves are like wool about to unravel. I never imagined it would come to this. No one said a word, ignorance was bliss. Me days are numbered now, let life begin. Bring on the band, the cigarettes and the gin. And this is a little bit more serious. It's called Executed. There once was a man who had another man shot, had him executed. A longer, more drawn-out word, like the other man's death, perhaps. With the stub of a pencil, he scratched out the words, caught the spy Boland, handed him over, had him executed. Handed him over, like a loaf of bread, or a sack of spuds, a creel of bog-brown turf. On what evidence, I wondered? A West Clare man, back from the war, safe from the trauma of the trenches, the beseeching cries of his comrades, gun smoke, sickness, sweat, who might have had to kill a man he didn't know, had never seen, except across an enemy line. Caught the spy Boland, handed him over, had him executed. Of the 200 informers executed during Ireland's War of Independence, 82 of them were ex-British Army. Did he betray them, reveal a name, the whereabouts of a meeting? Did he have someone die, Boland the spy, survivor of the Somme, relieved and happy to be home? To the seaweed, turf smoke, Dillis and periwinkles, the grass caressing his face, griddlebreads and egg for breakfast, his mother's warm embrace. They called him traitor, informer, classmates and next-door neighbour, enemies who once were friends, the girl he had his eye on before he left, who never got to make amends. I once knew that man who caught the spy Boland, handed him over and had him executed. And did he know, when he wrote down the words, that one day I would read them? So the one about my grandmother, great-grandmother. She went to the dairy every morning, bright and early, taking her cracked jug to fill it with milk, curdling and creamy, cover it with silk, not with muslin. A saucerful she fed to the mangy cat, a pint was kept for Polynesian Pat, and because my granny was none too scruffy, the rest she sipped with her ball of snuffy. And the last one is just, I saw this, I wasn't going to read this one, but Proclamation Day. A lot of people had a problem this year, I think, with some of the celebrations for 1916, because I thought of all the bloodshed. And this was one of the things that kind of made me feel it was a good thing. It's called May's Proclamation Day, and May is my 6-year-old niece. I have to write my proclamations, 6-year-old May sighed, for poor people to have houses, sick children more medicine. Oh, why, the revisionist cry, did so many innocents die? Dad has to download my new song, she scurried in from school, Hold hand on my heart, head up high. And can I blink, do you think? Sheena Feena Fall, she sang. Am I a sort of a soldier? Lucky stopped chewing his rubber bone, stood up in bed, cocked his head. Oh, why, the revisionist cry, did so many innocents die? Orange is my favourite, green it is for Ireland. 2 crayons to colour in my flag, and never make fun of it, ever. They raised it over the schoolyard, sang their national anthem, played tin whistles and guitars, read their proclamation. May's blue saucer eyes were beaming, her maroon chest puffed with pride, not a curl in her mop of hair moving. I just love St. Kevin's, she cried. Oh, why, the revisionist sigh, did so many innocents die? For this, I whisper.